Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a fantastic day. Likes, comments, and subscriptions are always appreciated. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. As you might have imagined, which seems to be the trend of this week, it's going to be another really slightly weird news day. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says, will Ethereum breach $2,000 before the merge? Probably. As you might have expected, this is still one of the most popular news topics of the week, potentially of the month, maybe even as we go towards the end of the year. The merge is very big news, and everyone's paying attention to it, especially after we've seen cryptocurrency prices rise quite dramatically off of the news that we would have the merge sometime in September. This one says, crypto trading expert outlines key Bitcoin price levels to watch after predicting a rise above 24,000 US dollars. Bitcoin nearly taps $25,000 level. For the first time since June, we saw very interesting price movements within the cryptocurrency market over the last 2 days, especially after we got indications around Wednesday that apparently, inflation was high, but not as terrible as it previously was expected, and therefore markets around the world began to rally. So here's the focal point of all the news today. We now know, or have been told that by the developers on Ethereum, that there is an actual exact date for the upgrade now. It is no longer the 19th of September. It is scheduled for the 15th or 16th of September. The difference in the date basically has to do with, is it even here? No, there's no actual... Oh, geez, Louise, maybe it's on this one. Hold on. Yeah, right around here. Remember I told you before? Yeah, perfect. What ends up happening is they kind of write it on a block, if that makes it any, makes sense in a simplified manner. They basically say the upgrade is going to happen at this number. This is far too many zeros. I can't even begin to imagine what this number is. 100, this is 1,000, million, billion, trillion. I think this is quintillion. Is it quintillion after that? Sanctillion? I think sanctillion might actually be a thing. But then there's also like 6 more digits. So I setillion? I don't know. This is a gigantically long number. And apparently they said on the total terminal difficulty, or the TTD, this is when the upgrade will actually go live. They also made sure to note that just in case there might be another delay, and I actually chuckled at that simply because this has been expected for 6 years now, almost 7 years. So I feel like they kind of just have to say, maybe there'll be another delay. But as of right now, the time that we've been given is between the 15th and 16th of September. A lot of people are very excited at this news. The really weird part is that, at least from what I saw, is the reaction and then the unreaction to price news that we actually had in the market. Once again, we always have to go backwards and then forwards in the news so that you really understand the exact time frame of everything that actually took place. On top of that as well, for those of you not looking at the screen, it says the Ethereum 2.0 deposit contract is approaching 13.3 million ETH that have been deposited into the network. The amount of people about a year ago, I think it was roughly only around 1 million ETH that were in the contract. A lot more people are locking away their coins within the contract to either have earlier rewards, to secure the network more before we actually end up getting to that point where they actually have to do so. Either way, a lot of people, I've said it thousands of times, this is a gigantic event within the cryptocurrency space. I'm noticing a lot of people, and I think it's just, I don't know if it's human nature or simply boredom, A lot of people. So there's a lot of, I don't know if you know how Twitter works, especially with the algorithm and the AI that every single website has. But the more that you look at something or the longer you hover over something, the more it'll show you things like that. The same exact thing with Instagram. If you're looking at something on Instagram and you hover over it for too long, you'll notice that your algorithm begins to show you things that were similar to the thing that you hovered over. So I was reading a lot of news yesterday that had to do on Twitter to see, what the general sentiment of things was within the community of the actual upgrade happening. Because many different things that were popping up were like, actual date, this is going to happen, this is going to, so and so and so. And as I'm reading through all these things, I was clicking on a lot of the threads, looking to see what people were saying. And there were a massive amount of people, and you could tell that they weren't actual ETH owners because they had like Solana pictures or they had like photos of other different cryptocurrencies who were trying to downplay it or were talking about it's never going to actually happen, or how Ethereum's price shouldn't be moving up and Dogecoin should be moving up instead. And it's like, I once again, I'm not sure if it's human nature, but it's this really weird like knee-jerk reaction of like, I need to be as negative and as mean as possible to everyone else out there who has the coins that I don't have, because Ethereum was never really an underdog, but there were so many people, and I like to see how the future plays out in many different aspects. Years ago, you remember all the hate that Ripple and XRP had? There was a huge group of people who also didn't allegedly like Ether. For whatever reason, somebody told them a lie at some point and they ended up believing it to their dismay. But these people ended up falling into the I only have Cardano crowd. I only own Solana. And it's this really weird, but this is also, I was chatting with friends about this last night. Hello, friends, if you're listening, like on this exact topic. We were talking about Terra Luna. And because we were going over, as always, me and my two friends, we always talk about where to put our money. And it always ends up being like real estate, crypto, and we were like actively buying NFTs last night as we sat at dinner. We were talking about how it's so weird that there were so many people who only had Terra Luna, like not as portions of their portfolio, but there were so many videos on YouTube of these people being like, I had $2 million and that was all I had. And it's like, I once again will not ever and cannot ever tell you what to do with your money. But from a logical standpoint, there's a reason why people say diversification, or like 1 to 2% of your portfolio. So you're invested in 50 different things as opposed to just one, because if that one thing collapses. Anyway, the point is, so bringing it all back, the excitement is definitely there. The hate is also definitely there. I think for a lot of people who didn't assume, even last year, when I think Ethereum's price hit almost 5,000, a lot of people were like, it can never go above 1,000. And then you kind of, see how the news works. People are continuing to deposit their coins, lock away their coins. I think this is going to come as a major shock to a lot of people who did not pay attention to this project or simply didn't realize that Ethereum was the number 2 coin after all these years. There are a lot of, I don't want to say the term haters, but a lot of people who are writing articles talking about this is a sell the news event. I don't think you understand how big, like in terms of do your own research. Find a website that shows you exactly how many projects are built on top of Ethereum compared to every other coin, even Bitcoin. Bitcoin is like 1% of what Ethereum would love to be. Ethereum is gigantic. Ethereum has so many projects built on top of it. The issuance rate dropping in, the amount of coins being locked onto it, the burn rate also, doubling or tripling once the merge actually happens, the transaction rate going up. Like there's so many things going to take place. I think a lot of people will most certainly be selling the event, but I think it's going to come as a gigantic shock to them when they realize, right. So anyway, that's a portion of the actual price news. The issue, air quotes, being, we had exceptional news yesterday within the cryptocurrency space. However, at the same exact time, stocks began to kind of wobble, and cryptocurrency prices also began to wobble as well. I'm going to go over the next really popular news after this one. But the oddest part is that I can't figure out what will actually cause us to decouple extensively from stock markets. There's movements together in every market, regardless of what they are. So there is a light correlation between the stock market and the real estate market. If stock markets are doing well, this tends to, people are getting extra money and they tend to have this extra money to throw into real estate. The extra money thrown into real estate causes a lack of supply. Prices begin to move up. If we see that over the course of a 6-7 month period, stocks are collapsing, even though they're not directly correlated with real estate, people begin to get fearful and go, I need to sell my house now because there's a market collapse. Everything is correlated in some sort of way. Same thing with gold, what have you. However, the correlation that the cryptocurrency market has to the stock market needs to stop like yesterday. Because not only did we have explicit news, we've been waiting for 6 years, and even more so, we've seen just on news that there was going to be a merge in September. Prices moved up. We were just talking Ethereum is up, over 113% like a day or two ago since we got news that the merge was happening in September. That was in July. We've moved up. On the news of an exact date, prices also began to move up. And then we had news that the stock market was kind of wobbly around the world based off of fear of inflation, basically, as to where things were going to go. There's also a lot of whispers of energy and gas prices skyrocketing over the course of winter. And for some reason, that also shook markets a little tiny bit. But we had exceptional news that our market was going to move up and a major coin was going to upgrade and literally drag the rest of the market with it. And then the news was that the stock market didn't do too well around the world. It kind of closed in the red. Things weren't as perfect as people assumed. And then we also dropped as well, which shouldn't have happened. On top of that, stock futures are up at the moment in many places around the world. The optimism is still there. I think I read somewhere that the fear and greed index, we are closer to, or like in the middle, kind of near greed, but far away from fear at this point. It's this generalized everything greed kind of rally that we've been seeing taking place over the last couple of months, regardless of what inflation has actually been. Once we hear the doom and gloom news from the Federal Reserve or otherwise, prices drop, and then a day or two later, they end up going back up. I think this is generalized moving up rally, but we should not at any point be going down in price based off of the Ethereum news and the other news that I'm going to get you. Like we should easily be up by around 12 to 18% per day. There was a news article yesterday. It showed that Bitcoin, I think in the last year, had transacted, I think, around $56 trillion worth of value. These are no longer like small fries. These are larger than entire countries, like entire remittances of countries sending money back and forth, like especially for smaller countries, is around like $45 billion over the course of a year. And Bitcoin alone has completely dwarfed that just by itself. The network has never had any downtime. It's just so many different factors, and I can't understand. I'm not sure if it's a generalized in the back of the head level of fear about prices and their movements, or if it's really just people not understanding. I think so. Not understanding what these networks and what these metrics actually mean. Anyway, that's the current price news that we have right now. Prices rose on the official merge news. Prices also rose on other news that we're about to go over right now that isn't explicitly price news. And then prices fell a tiny bit based off of the stock market's movements. So we'll see. Futures are currently up. The rest of the world has not awoken. So hopefully they wake up to the fact that we have gigantic news. And yeah, let's move on. This one was shoving Ethereum to the side for most popular news story of the day. According to a blog post published on Thursday, BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager overseeing over, I think it's actually $11 trillion worth of assets. Once again, put that into your head. Not $1, not $100, not $1,000, not $10,000, not $100,000, not $1 million, not $100 million, not $575 million, not $1 billion, not $100 billion, not 900 billion. And I'm telling you these numbers because I want you to understand how large this is. Not $999 billion, not 1 trillion, not 5 trillion. It's estimated around $11 trillion worth of assets. You got that? Awesome. Has launched a new private spot Bitcoin trust. Right. This is the news that we got. Remember, we were just going over the articles right here. Bitcoin, rising to 24,000. Bitcoin taps nearly 25,000. It was all for the news that the $11 trillion fund manager, not only did they last week partner with Coinbase to give other institutions a opening doorway to buy Bitcoin directly from Coinbase, BlackRock has launched their own spot Bitcoin trust. It's only available to the wealthiest people in the United States. Sure, why not? Off of this news, Bitcoin, of course, jumped in price. The stock market fell a bit, and Bitcoin also fell. Do you see where none of this is actually making sense? Any type of correlation that we could have had should have been washed away by the sea immediately, instantaneously. Just off of the news that, and I know that some people do miss videos. I get it. You can't watch everything. Understandable. If you missed the other video and you did not get a chance to, on YouTube, make a new tab at some point or do it after the video, whenever time suits you properly. Their video is called BlackRock, the company that owns the world. You might have seen it already. Rewatch another one so you can really grasp exactly how large BlackRock is. BlackRock isn't a normal company. BlackRock is an asset manager that started around 30 something or so odd other years ago. They got their celebrity and fame by creating an AI algorithm that basically was able to predict and or move things around at the right time within the market. They gained so much notoriety and fame that they were worth billions within the 10, 15 years after they launched. They became so much more popular that they became a $1 trillion asset manager. But BlackRock owns so much. They own a fragment of every single major company on the planet. I posted this before on Twitter and somewhere else, and people were writing, well, maybe just within the US. No. BlackRock actually owns the world. They move around their portions of companies to make sure in many cases that they have a majority of what they need to be able to actually have a seat on the panel of these companies. They own a portion of every single company on the planet. I'm not talking about some new mom and pop shop that opened up across the street from where you live who's selling smoothies. Every major company you've heard of, BlackRock owns them. Their AI is so powerful that central banks and the US central bank and all the central banks around the world look at what that AI tells them to do or what to buy or what to get or what equities or what stocks to buy, and they do it. So many people seem to not, I've told people this before, and I think it's so much information for the mind that they really don't get what it actually means or how powerful you are when you are the $11 trillion asset manager. This will eventually be $100 trillion within our lifetime. They went from near zero to hundreds of billions to 11 trillion in 30 years, and that's only going to accelerate. If you look at the amount of, it's everything. I was going to say like land and companies and real estate. BlackRock owns everything. Put that through your head. When we had news in 2018 that BlackRock was entering the cryptocurrency space, I was annoyed that prices didn't move up because I thought then as well that people simply didn't understand how large BlackRock was. When BlackRock announced last week that they had partnered with Coinbase, I said, okay, here we go. The secret's out. BlackRock entering crypto means that they already own tons of Bitcoin. This means that they've been in this space for a while. The people running BlackRock and their AI aren't stupid. They're not simply going, well, I think we should do this now and maybe we'll accumulate. No, 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 no. You're not understanding. This in essence means I think it would be almost unfathomable for us to even really conceive how much Bitcoin and crypto BlackRock even owns at this point. From an actual realistic standpoint. The fact that they're now offering these things to other clients, because you fill up your bags before you offer it to someone else. They own, once again, watch these videos because I need you and your friends and whoever else you send this video to really get it through their heads. Bitcoin is here to stay forever because of BlackRock. And I'm not the person to go, yeah, rich people are here. BlackRock isn't rich. BlackRock is the planet. I know I heard it. One person sucked their teeth and they were like, no, he's over-exaggerating. You don't understand the power of this company. Their AI tells governments what to do. They sit on every single major company around the planet. They own the world. Watch those videos, I'm telling you. Because I showed it to other friends, but I was trying to explain. And then I told other friends, watch this video. And then they got it. Maybe it was all the graphics, flying really fast and showing them everything. They own everything. They are now officially into Bitcoin. They have launched a private trust that is going to give the wealthiest people within the United States access. We've been looking for something like this in the form of an ETF for a while from the SEC. BlackRock just launched their own private one. I read through it, and the way that they're able to do this is that they basically circumvented the SEC. They made sure that it's not something that can be listed on a private anything, like what have you. So the idea of like a security is once it's been securitized or SEC-tized, you can then list it on other platforms. No, this is just for BlackRock. Like this is this is just us and their wealthiest clients. Their clients aren't people who have $500,000 in the bank, who happen to, they inherited $14 million. These are billionaires. On this news alone, I wish there was, a string of words that I could put together in the English language to make you understand how significant this is. I spoke with one of my friends. Hello, I doubt he's listening. In Florida, who's he knows. It's almost like, don't get offended, but it's almost like a Rain Man kind of thing. The way his mind works when it comes to money and finance and world events, like he's always on it. It's always like completely precise. And when he found out about this, he freaked out because he was like, I don't have enough Bitcoin. He was like actually losing his mind, because he understood exactly what the implications of this meant. On this news alone, we should have gone up by around 15 to 20% just off of the news alone. I don't have the other news articles in here. There were other coins. Some other company was like, yeah, we've thought about using them, and those coins went up by 34%. And it was just like, we've thought about using them. We're thinking about getting into crypto. Somebody told me the name of this coin. Those coins pumped up. I can't imagine what the mindset is for several 100 million people who are into the crypto space. I would assume it has to just be a general ignorance or a desire to not learn more and simply only pay attention to the immediate prices that's holding everything back. I think it's just, I bought into crypto, but I don't really have to learn or know any more. That's stopping the market from really being what it could be. Because I think if everyone else had the passion of understanding exactly that I have, how large that BlackRock is, we would be nearing a $40,000 Bitcoin right now, and there would be no questions about it. But I think it's the levels of ignorance within the space, even as far as I only own Terra Luna. I'm never going to touch Ethereum. Ethereum's doing amazing things. I'm still not going to buy it because I only believe in Solana. These kind of things. It's these, I'll stand in my own corner. Do you understand what this means? Even the Coinbase news, I'm going to move on from here because I know that there's one person who's like, stop talking about it. In normal TMI phrase, please do your own research and understand exactly how large BlackRock is. The fact that institutional clients through Coinbase now have access to Bitcoin because they were looking for the news has always been they're looking for a safe and secure way to do so. I don't know why that's been the mantra, but that's always been it. And they have it through the BlackRock X Coinbase thing. And now BlackRock has their own private trust for spot Bitcoin as well. On that news and the exact Ethereum merge date, our market should look insane. We should be up by 20, 30, 40% across the entirety of the market with no slowing down. BlackRock at some point in the next 10 years, remember when we were talking about the year 2032? Somewhere around there is estimated to be the time where 99% of all Bitcoin have been mined. We'll have gone over 2 more halvings, and there's basically going to be no more Bitcoin left. BlackRock is going to own a substantial amount of those Bitcoin. And people are going to be furious when they realize exactly how much richer BlackRock is and that they themselves could have also had a slice of that pie. Even the idea to me, now this is going to sound radical, even the idea to me of people selling Bitcoin is completely insane because it means to me that people are putting money into the market that they could not afford to lose. My entire idea is we know that this has worked. We know that Bitcoin and crypto together are here to stay nearly forever, as long as the world is probably around. We are deeply ingrained in the world's financial system. The idea of people buying Bitcoin and then selling, even for a loss when they see the market has gone down, lets me know that people are throwing money into the market frivolously. That they don't understand that this is literally a long-term hold. This is not a, let me buy real estate. Let me buy a $500,000 property. Property prices fall to $250,000. Let me sell it. I got to get out of the market. No, you hold. Because in 40 years, that property is going to be worth $2.3 million and you'll be able to pass that on to your kids. I'm glad that I held on. This is insane. This is absolutely nuts that we're living through all of this. And in a couple of years, even during the next bull run, do you understand what BlackRock exposure to Bitcoin means? We've got the last years before this, sorry for the rant, the last couple of years have gone on this like, will they? Who's entering the space? We had news about this company buying and this company buying, and the head honcho for so long was MicroStrategy. Even them buying $500 million worth of Bitcoin wasn't really doing it. And then we had the news of Tesla buying, and I was like, Muskie is a special person, but that made it hit headlines. We had to hear that Tesla and SpaceX were holding Bitcoin. If they're holding everyone's, there was another article that I was reading talking about BlackRock as well, and they said the largest company on the planet has gotten into Bitcoin. They said this is a gigantic signal for everyone else. There's only 21 million Bitcoin. And even then, that's not even it anymore because millions have been lost over the years. People have thrown away their computers, what have you, so on and so forth. They said this is a signal to every other company out there. If you don't buy Bitcoin, there will be none left for you. $11 trillion. For those of you who did pay attention and who did listen, I tip my digital hat to you. How don't people get what's going on? Like explicitly. How is everyone not even turning a blind eye? You've turned your back and you've walked 50 miles in the other direction. How is no one understanding how large this is? We've already been talking about a year ago, we were talking about how few Bitcoin there actually is left on cryptocurrency exchanges, how it's all being put into these wallets that we know are cold wallets. wallets that have only had transactions into them for the last 6 to 7 years, and these wallets are not selling anytime soon. We know that even before BlackRock, we had tons of hedge funds who were buying tons of Bitcoin. They told us outright, we bought a couple $100 million worth of Bitcoin and we're not selling anytime soon. They were not the only hedge fund. I told you, those were the companies who were outwardly, they wanted to be on the news to tell people that they bought. Imagine the other 100 companies before. Remember before when the, what do you call it? When the mayor of Miami was trying to make Bitcoin a gigantic, Bitcoin hub and stuff like that. We had news that same exact week that they had partnered with, were talking to some rich person in Dubai who wanted to help them with their efforts. So he loaned them 100,000 Bitcoin. You don't loan somebody all of your Bitcoin. That man had over 1 million Bitcoin. You don't, man, I only got 100 on me here, but you can have the entire thing. Doesn't that sound dumb? Because you would never do that. You loan a portion of what you have. So, that's the BlackRock news that we have for today. This market will never cease to amaze me. I hope that at some point we actually get to a level of reality where the news makes sense. I don't care if the stock market had dropped by 38%. The news of BlackRock actively buying Bitcoin and their clients, billionaires, buying Bitcoin, and the 15th of September being locked in as the Ethereum merge date, we should be sky high right now. Absolutely. We should be somewhere above the clouds. That's the BlackRock news. Gigantically popular, I think only amongst people who really understand what's actually going on. Ah, boy. And yeah. Let's move on. Also in the news today, Robinhood has announced that the beta testing of the update, which will offer a cryptocurrency service, will be coming in the next weeks. Robinhood recently announced its Web3 crypto wallet. The number of customers on the Web3 crypto wallet waiting list has exceeded 1 million people. Robinhood CEO Vladimir Tenev has announced that the company's upcoming Web3 cryptocurrency wallet now has a waiting list of over one. Do people? So of course they do. Of course, I was going to say, do people use Robinhood? I think it's because I don't use Robinhood that I really don't get. I understand that they have a huge, gigantic portion of people who use their service, but it's kind of going back to, remember when people were desperately, I think it was Shiba Inu. We're trying to get Shiba Inu on Robinhood. And I was like, hey, it's on Coinbase. Hey, it's on Kraken. Hey, it's on, what's the other one? Binance, the largest crypto exchange on the planet. And everyone, and then it got listed on crypto exchanges in the Philippines and Thailand. I think the one in India, it was literally everywhere. But the day they mentioned that it was on Robinhood, the price went up by around 18%. And it was like, okay, so just, throwing that in there. I understand the popularity of Robinhood, but okay. According to the Bulgarian-American entrepreneur, I don't know why we needed to know all his, his ethnicity. The wallet will enter the beta testing phase next week. Beta testing of the update, which will provide access to cryptocurrencies without commission fees, will begin in the coming weeks. So basically, they're building a decentralized finance Web3 crypto wallet. I hope it works out. Hear me out here. For those of you who haven't been paying attention, the SEC is on the ridiculous path right now, and they're getting every single company in trouble who is dealing with Web3 or anything like that. So I hope that Robinhood is going through the proper regulation doors, because Web3 is meant to be, hear me out, is meant to be decentralized. It's meant to not have an exact focal point. So you should be able to deal in Web3 yourselves. That's kind of, you can go on Web3 right now in different protocols and dApps by yourself without having to worry. So I don't understand how they would have a decentralized ecosystem through their platform that is centralized, because you won't then have control over your own finances or be able to do what you want to do because you are dealing with Robinhood. And also, once again, the SEC is shutting down everything that has to do with anything with people having control over their own lives. So I would assume at some point the SEC would find something wrong with the crypto assets that they have listed on Robinhood. It would also try and shut that down as well. Not being a negative Nancy, but listen, they went after Gemini. They're still going after Gemini. I think another new thing was filed yesterday by the SEC against Coinbase. For those of you who missed that video, the SEC is going after the staking coins that Coinbase has on their platform, saying maybe some of them are securities. Why the SEC did not do this 4 years ago? Greed and corruption. That's the actual answer. So yeah, Robinhood is testing, or their Web3 crypto wallet. 1 million people? You can do this already. You can interact with Web3 right now on your computer, on your phone. I just don't get the world so many times. I just don't really understand. All right, that's the Robinhood news. I'm sure somebody's excited about it, but I never get it. I never actually understand it. Sure. Let's move on. Rightio. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters: GBU Wally, Manny Cryptos, Crypto Gambino, Bubble Mode, How's Life Austin, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Jamie Saad, Blockchain Simplified, and let's move on, Empire Queen, Roman Geba, Bitcoin Ben, Arachno Dave, Tony Ambroski, The Dealer's Den, Captain Something, and the Z-Way Lay, Mobarazi, VB Nerd 21, Miguel Groulet, Lauren De Silva, Quoted Biddy, Troy Allgood, Space Case, Need a Miracle, Paternoster, Navarro Williams, Utopia 569, Moonman High XRP, Martin Steuer, Nostromo, John Sarston, The Anima, Reader at Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Wise 9 Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroad Network, Crypto Artist, Coldy 3D, Setsuna, Richie Rich III, Paxis, Nick Man, Gialavori, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Yes to Crypto, Bodie McButtface, Anytime Fitness, Mount Corner Staff, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger, Machanisa, All Crypto with Lionel and Crayola, Michelle, URL. Thank you all very, very much for your continued support. I do mean it. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel, who clicked like, who has subscribed, who left a comment or multiple comments. I see you every single day. I can't thank all of you because it's a lot of comments. Thank you very, very, very much. Thank you for all the support on the new channel. There's a new video coming out today as well. At the moment, Bitcoin is at 23,972 US dollars. It is down by 2% in the last 24 hours. Like this is the drop down after we got the gigantic news from BlackRock. Ethereum is currently 1,891. I saw it hit 1,933 or something like that yesterday. There's still a chance for us to move up. Apparently, we have to rely on the stock market, which is disgusting and makes no sense. These are not stocks. These are not companies. These are payment protocols that can be used by anyone around the world. Bitcoin did over $60 trillion worth of movement on its network alone. This is not a stock. Why would anyone be treating it like a stock? It drives me, you can tell. It's driving me absolutely insane. The correlation doesn't make any sense. At the moment, many coins over the course of the 24-hour period are in the red. The hour charts are looking kind of okay. Let's hope that translates into actual movement. Cardano is still up by 4% over the course of the last week. Solana, 9 problems this year, is up higher than Bitcoin over the last week. Polkadot is up by 10% over the last week. Avalanche is up by 21% over the last week as well. Shiba Inu is up by 3.25% over the last week. Ethereum Classic, you know, the one that BlackRock is buying and the one that's having the merge upgrade, Ethereum Classic, is up by 9% in the last 24 hours and 17% in the last 7 days. Let that sink into how ridiculous and stupid this space is. Let it sink into your pores to really understand how this space doesn't make any sense. Near Protocol, you know, the one that's having the merge upgrade, is up by 28% in the last week. Chainlink is up by 19% in the last week. Cosmos is up by 10% in the last week. Stellar Lumens is up by 8% in the last week as well. VeChain Thor is up by 6% in the last week. Hedera Hashbar is up by 10% in the last 7 days. Theta Network is up by 8% as well. Quant, you know, the one that's being purchased by BlackRock, is up by 18% in the last week as well. Elron eGold is up by 8%. EOS is up by 6%. Zcash is up by 15.9% in the last week as well. One day it'll make sense. One day. I hope it's not in 100 years, but one day. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, great morning, great afternoon, great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be on this weird planet. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Hope you all have a great Friday. I hope you enjoy the end of your Friday. Maybe you can, never mind. I was gonna say maybe you can get out of work early, but I don't think that's an actual option. Don't lie to your employer. Just enjoy your work day, then enjoy your weekend. Thank you all once again for, look at me telling you terrible things. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, and or supporting, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.